Amazingly, a homeless woman discovers a millionaire's wallet, revealing a life-changing connection. In the heart of a city that never sleeps, Lily, a kind-hearted homeless woman, roamed the bustling streets with the grace and resilience of a queen stripped of her crown. Buckets of glittering lights bled into the steel-gray sky, while cars honked impatiently, and pedestrians rushed past as if life itself were a race. But amidst this chaos, there was a refuge. She clung to a small park where vibrant flowers bloomed, breathing life into the concrete jungle, and providing her solace. Every morning was a battle to survive. She'd sift through trash for leftover pizza, but her soul soared as she tended to the park. With gentle hands, she pruned the flowers, collected litter, and offered warm smiles to other marginalized souls. She met the elderly man who read poetry in the shade, the mother with a baby who scrounged for change. They'd come to rely on her, finding warmth in her laughter and wisdom in her words. But tonight, the air was sharp, cutting through her thin coat as snow began to swirl around her in delicate flakes. Her heart raced as she noticed something glinting on a park bench, a luxurious leather wallet, abandoned and innocent. Inside, crisp bills and sleek credit cards hummed with promise, reminders of the great divide between her world and the man who owned it. Her friends, weary and skeptical, urged her to take the windfall. "Lily, it's your chance," they insisted. "You could eat like a queen for weeks." But as she held the wallet in her hands, she felt the weight of its contents against her chest like lead. It would be so easy to slip it into her pocket, but her heart tugged at her, a familiar thread of integrity refusing to sever. She resolved to find the owner. Days rolled on, and her quest for justice led her to Mark, a wealthy businessman living in a gilded mansion that felt more like a prison. His life was marked with loneliness, and the hard edges of wealth cut his spirit. When they met, hesitation filled the air. He wore his privilege like armor, while her weariness was a shroud of survival. As they exchanged glances, the barriers of their worlds began to melt away, revealing vulnerability beneath the surface. Their conversations unfolded like petals of a blooming flower, rich and textured with shared moments. Lily's laughter cracked open Mark's stoic facade, teaching him that true wealth lay in connection, while he, in turn, lifted her spirit, encouraging her to rediscover her worth beneath the layers of hardship. Yet doubts lingered, unspoken hesitations creeping in as their bond grew. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the seasons turned, misunderstandings festered. Mark grappled with the gulf of his privilege, while Lily wrestled with her judgments against wealth. Tensions peaked when his family discovered Lily and recoiled. Yet in truth, they were all wrestling with the ghosts of their pasts, trying to unearth understanding. Then came the coldest night of all. With snow piling high, barriers crumbled and harsh words echoed through the park, but in that frigid air, the possibility of connection shimmered like a faint star. Would they have the courage to bridge the chasm that life had carved between them? As they stood on the brink of something beautiful yet terrifying, one question loomed large: can love truly transcend the vast socioeconomic divide, or would their bond remain a dream slipping through their fingers? The cold night wrapped around Lily like a heavy cloak, but a fire burned within her heart as she faced Mark again. Their earlier arguments still stung, and the air crackled with unsaid words. In tears, she wondered if their connection could survive the weight of judgment and fear. "Why do you even care?" she finally blurted, her voice trembling. "I'm just a homeless woman to you. You could have anyone." Her eyes searched his, desperate for something, anything, to hold on to. Mark stepped closer, drawn in by the warmth in her vulnerability. "No, Lily," he breathed. "You're so much more than that to me. I just don't know how to bridge this gap." The flickering shadows of street lamps danced on his face, highlighting the uncertainty settled in his brow. Maybe it starts with honesty, she replied softly, her breath clouding in the chilly air. This world has taught us to wear masks. To pretend we're fine when we're not. But we're both hurting. He nodded, remorse washing over his features. I'm scared. My family thinks I've lost my mind for being drawn to you. I feel like I'm betraying everything I've been taught. The truth hung heavily between them, as sharp and biting as the winter wind. Their conversations grew deeper, a dynamic blend of shared fears and fading hesitations. It was as if they were peeling off layers, revealing raw hearts beating beneath. They found solace in each other's struggles. Lily spoke of the cold nights sleeping under bridges, while Mark shared tales of his lonely childhood in a mansion filled with riches but void of genuine love. One snowy afternoon in the park, they sat on a bench, hearts finally open. Lily pulled out a tattered sketchbook she had tucked beneath her jacket. I've always loved to draw, she murmured, flipping it open to reveal delicate sketches of flowers and landscapes. These are my dreams painted in humble pencil strokes. Mark marveled at the beauty in her art. You have a gift, Lily. Why don't you show the world? He squeezed her hand, a familiar spark igniting between them. Shaking her head, she replied, who would want to see the work of a nobody? I'm just an outcast with nothing but dreams. That's not true. You deserve to be seen. We should find a way to share this magic. Mark's conviction changed the air around them, igniting hope in her heart. Days turned into weeks, and their friendship blossomed into something more, but shadows from their past continued to hover. Mark's family remained a lurking specter, continually critiquing his choices, while Lily's insecurities whispered doubts into her mind. One evening, under a blanket of stars, Mark surprised her. I've booked a gallery space to showcase your artwork, he declared, his eyes alight with enthusiasm. You'll reveal your gift to the world and to your old self. This is your moment. Lily's breath caught in her throat. Excitement mingled with paralyzing fear. But what if no one comes? What if they laugh? Even if only one person sees your heart, he said firmly, a challenge in his eyes. It will change everything. As the day approached, tension rippled through her. Would she find the courage to step into the light? Could she truly let herself shine? The gallery, a mirror reflection of their worlds colliding, beckoned to her with both promise and terror. On that fateful night, with the walls adorned with her dreams, would she crumble under the weight of her fears, or rise to embrace her new beginning? As the clock ticked toward destiny, one chilling thought settled in her mind. What if this moment could change everything? Yet deep down, she held herself back. The night of the gallery opening arrived, a blend of excitement and dread dancing in Lily's chest. She stood before the full-length mirror in a borrowed dress, the fabric soft against her skin. It was an unfamiliar feeling, the kind that warms you and makes your heart race, yet her reflection felt distant, like a stranger she barely recognized. Mark entered the room with a wide smile, a bouquet of wildflowers in his hands. You look beautiful, he said, his voice warm and encouraging. The flowers reminded her of her sketches, wild and free just like the dreams she had poured onto paper. Thank you. Her voice wavered, betraying her nerves. What if no one cares? Mark stepped closer, eyes earnest. Lily, you matter. Your art matters. This is your chance to show everyone the real you. She took a deep breath, letting the flood of hope clash with her fears. Could she truly be the person she wanted to be? As they made their way to the gallery, the streets felt alive, the buzz of the city wrapping around them like a blanket. Yet, that blanket felt heavy on her shoulders, filled with doubts. The gallery stood tall and modern, a stark contrast to the world she had known. Inside, white walls filled with vibrant colors welcomed them. But she froze at the entrance, a sudden wave of insecurity washed over her. What if she was just an imposter standing among real artists? Mark gently nudged her. You've got this. Just breathe. With trembling hands, she pushed through the door. The space felt enormous, with voices rising and falling like waves against the shore. Guests mingled in clusters, their laughter mingling with the soft music that floated in the air. As they approached her exhibit, the sight of her sketches hanging on the walls made her heartbeat quicken. Each piece captured a moment of vulnerability, each stroke a piece of her soul. Yet, admiration came with a flicker of fear. "Do you see that?" Mark pointed to a small gathering of people admiring her art. "They're drawn to your story." Lily took a deep breath, inching forward. Every step closer felt like stepping further away from fear. Just then, a woman with bright red lipstick and an air of confidence approached her art. "These are extraordinary," she exclaimed, her eyes wide with astonishment. "You have a gift. I'd love to know the inspiration behind this piece." Lily's heart danced. They're sketches of places I dream about," she stammered, the words tumbling out. "Each one holds a story, a longing for something more." The woman nodded, captivated. "That longing translates beautifully. You should consider a bigger venue next time." Lily felt the flame of hope igniting, but it flickered again as the crowd began to thicken. Moments shared with Mark, the warmth in his gaze, the electricity of their connection gave her strength. But another voice haunted her thoughts. What would his family say if they saw him here, embracing a girl deemed less than by society? As she spoke with more guests, laughter bubbled, the warmth of their attention wrapping around her like a cozy blanket. And for a moment, all that mattered was the passion confined within her sketches. Then, in the midst of her budding confidence, she spotted someone familiar at the edge of the gallery. It was Mark's mother, her expression unreadable, eyes scanning the room, searching. Lily's breath caught. Would this be the moment when the warmth of acceptance would wither into icy judgment? As whispers of the crowd spiraled around her, the atmosphere thick with anticipation, she realized that the night could change everything. But what awaited her figuratively behind those shadows? Would courage or fear win in this battle of hearts? She braced herself, ready to face the night and whatever came next. Lily's heart raced as she locked eyes with Mark's mother. The tall, poised woman moved closer, threading through the sea of guests, her presence breathing a mix of elegance and authority into the air. The room shrank, and Lily felt her laughter fade, replaced by the pounding of her pulse. She forced herself to smile, but doubt crept into her mind like a shadow. Mark noticed her tension and took her hand. "Just be yourself," he whispered, a quiet beacon amidst her rising panic. His mother reached them, a smile lingering just at the corners of her lips. "Mark," she greeted, then her gaze fell on Lily, assessing. "You must be Lily. Your work is intriguing." Lily's throat tightened. "Thank you," she managed, her voice barely above a whisper. I've heard a lot about you." A flicker of curiosity played across Mark's mother's face, swiftly replaced with an expression Lily couldn't decipher. "Really?" Mark replied, a spark of protectiveness in his tone. "Yes." The woman turned her attention back to Lily, her eyes narrowing slightly. "I hope you're not taking advantage of my son." Lily's heart dropped. It felt like an accusation shrouded in a compliment, a line blurred with the weight of implications. "I would never. I mean, I care about him," she stuttered, the words rushing out of her, seeking validation. "Love can be complicated, dear," the mother said, smoothing her designer gown. "I just want him to be careful. He has a bright future ahead." Lily swallowed hard. Was she just a momentary distraction in Mark's story? She stole a glance at Mark. His face was unreadable, a statue caught between loyalty and the fear of disappointing his mother. But before she could spiral deeper into worry, a circle of guests erupted with laughter, and Mark squeezed her hand. "Let's not focus on that right now. Come on, let me show you more of your admirers." She followed him, drawn into the warmth of the crowd again, leaning into the buoyancy of their comments and compliments. Each word fueled her hope, but a sliver of doubt remained, lodged deep within her heart. As she spoke with more people, Lily heard snippets of admiration discussions buzzing around the pieces, weaving tales she couldn't believe were about her creations. "I love how your art evokes such strong emotions," one woman said, and Lily felt herself blush. But just as she began to find her footing, she noticed Mark's mother again, this time with a small group of friends. Their laughter seemed sharp and pointed, and Lily could feel their eyes flitting her way. Was there disdain behind their smiles, or merely judgment wrapped in the guise of concern? "Lily, you've done so well." A familiar voice pulled her back to the moment. It was Mia, her art teacher from high school, who had always believed in her tucked-away talent. "Thank you for coming," Lily exclaimed, her smile genuine as the weight of the evening began to lift slightly. "I'm proud of you. Your sketches tell a story, and tonight they're resonating," Mia said, her eyes sparkling with pride. "Don't let anyone dim your light for any reason. You deserve this." But just then, Mark's mother interrupted. "A word, please." Her voice cut like ice through the warmth of the conversation. "Oh." Mark looked back at Lily, a flash of hesitation crossing his face. "I'll be right back." Lily nodded, heart sinking as he stepped away. Would this be a final showdown? Would his mother's coldness stifle the flame of possibility building inside her? As the conversation around her buzzed, dread pooled in the pit of her stomach. In that moment, she realized every whisper around her could either bolster or undermine the dream she had fought so hard to achieve. Lily took a deep breath, prepared for whatever verdict awaited her on the other side of this conversation. What revelation would unfold in the silence? Would she find strength within, or would the shadows of doubt wrap around her like a noose? Lily stood frozen, the laughter of the gathering swirling around her like a distant echo. Mark's figure faded as he walked away, his mother leading him to a quieter corner. The warmth of the crowd felt miles away now, replaced by an ice-cold grip of uncertainty. She could barely focus on the compliments still showering over her from the guests nearby. "Your work is phenomenal," someone exclaimed, but the words slipped past her unregistered. All she could picture was Mark's mother, pristine and formidable, dissecting every aspect of her being. Did she truly think Lily was unworthy? Mia seemed to notice her distant gaze. "Hey, don't let her get to you. You're stronger than that. Remember why you're here," Mia encouraged, her voice like soft guidance amidst the storm churning within Lily. "Right for my art," Lily muttered, trying to summon the passion that had fueled her journey. She glanced again at Mark and his mother, now standing in shadowed conversation. The distance felt immense, a palpable barrier that left her aching. Mark's expression shifted from eager to serious. Was he defending her, or was he caught in the whirlwind of family obligation? The thought made Lily's chest tighten. What if he was torn, questioning if he had made the right choice pursuing her over someone more accepted by his mother? Just then, laughter erupted from the other side of the room, breaking her reverie. A couple of friends emerged with a sloshing cup of punch, but their boisterous energy faded quickly as they noticed Lily's withdrawn demeanor. "Hey, Lily. Come join us," one called. She forced a smile, but it felt like masking a wound. "In a minute," she managed, watching as they sauntered back, oblivious to the turmoil carving pathways through her heart. What if Mark's mother was right? Had she misread the signals all along? She could feel the weight of insecurity clamping down on her. What if she was only meant to be a fleeting inspiration? As these thoughts spiraled out of control, a gentle touch slid against her arm, pulling her back. It was Mia. "Want to step outside for a moment?" she asked, her tone soft and knowing, as if sensing the storm raging inside. Lily nodded, grateful for the opportunity to escape the chaos. They slipped away beyond the glossy doors leading to a small patio. The cool night air wrapped around her like a breath of fresh freedom. "This is a good place to breathe," Mia said, glancing up at the stars glittering overhead. "Art has always been about expression, not approval. You know that, right?" Of course, but the words stuck in her throat. The weight of Mia's encouragement battled against the nagging doubts planted by Mark's mother. Lily, Mia said, stepping closer, eyes intent. You have a gift. Don't let anyone take that away from you. Not even out of concern for their family. For a moment, the tension inside her eased. Perhaps she was stronger than she realized. But what if she's right about everything? Lily whispered, her vulnerability spilling out into the open air. Mia tilted her head thoughtfully. Have you ever followed your heart in your art? Every piece shows pieces of you, and that's what makes them so powerful. Don't forget, love and creativity often sound a lot alike. It's a leap into the unknown. You deserve to take that leap, with or without her approval. Hearing those words reignited a flicker of hope within her. Her art was her voice, her truth. Just as she was beginning to believe again, the door swung open, bringing Mark back into view. The light from the room fell upon him, illuminating a tension in his shoulders. He searched for her with wide eyes, concern etched on his face. As their gazes locked, the world around Lily faded away, leaving a single point of clarity. She wanted to fight for this connection. It was worth every moment of doubt. But could she bridge the gap formed by his mother's disapproval, and would Mark be ready to defend what they had? As he approached, the faint sound of a whispered argument trailed from the doorway behind him. It was unclear if it was finished or merely building into something more explosive. What would break through first, the warmth of their bond or the chill of family expectations? Lily, I need to talk to you, Mark began, but as he stepped closer, the tension of the hidden conflict loomed over them both like a gathering storm. What would the impact of their conversation reveal? Please, tell me it's not as bad as it seems, Lily said, her heart racing with a mix of hope and dread. She searched Mark's eyes for reassurance. They often felt like a safe haven, but tonight they were stormy and filled with unspoken fears. Mark stepped closer, halting just a breath away from her. The warmth of his body was comforting, weaving against the chill creeping around them. It's not, he insisted, but his voice came out shaky, like he was trying to convince himself. Then what is going on? Lily pressed, the words tumbling out before she could stop them. Doubts churned a cyclone of anxiety. Is it your mother? Did you two argue? He lowered his gaze, and her heart sank. That silence told her everything. Lily, she doesn't understand you. She's worried about the future, he finally admitted, a slight tremor in his voice. And I want to be there for you, but she. Then why aren't you? Lily interrupted, feeling a mix of anger and hurt bubble to the surface. Why can't you just tell her the truth? She watched him swallow hard, his brow furrowing as he grappled with emotions. It's not that simple, he said, frustration flaring in his eyes. She's my mother. Putting this on her it's complicated. Complicated. The word cracked like a whip, stinging Lily like a sudden chill. How could anything between them be complicated? They fit together like pieces of an unfinished puzzle, yet with every hesitation, it felt like their connection was fraying. So, what? You'd rather keep pretending? That this isn't real? Mark's jaw tensed. You think I want that? I'm trying to handle this the right way. Right for whom? She shot back, her voice sharper than she intended. The stir of vulnerability began to unravel, leaving her raw and exposed. It's not just about us. He implored. It's about my family, my future. We can't just what? All her emotions came flooding back. Ignore your mother. Ignore what we have. Because reality knocks at your door every day, Mark. She sees me as someone who isn't good enough. Do I have to prove myself to her? A long moment of silence loomed between them, heavy with unspoken words. Then she caught the twitch of his fingers, the shift in his stance. You know it's not about that. I'm here because I care about you, and that's real. But Cynthia, she's Cynthia. The name stuck in her throat like a bitter taste. I'm not asking you to choose family over me, but I don't want to be in your shadows. Mark stepped back, surprise flickering across his face. Lily, it's not like that. I never wanted to hide you. Then why does it feel like it? A knot formed in her chest, squeezing tighter. Do we really mean something, or am I just an obstacle, something to navigate around? His eyes softened, a quick flash of anger replaced by desperation and understanding. You're not an obstacle. You never were. I want to fight for us, but what? She pressed, her heart racing as his hesitation hung in the air. But you're scared. You want it easy. No. I want to be with you, he blurted. His voice cracked, his vulnerability laid bare. He ran a hand through his hair, frustration transforming into something more transparent. I just don't want to hurt anyone, and I don't know if I'm strong enough to go against her. The gentle rustle of leaves surrounded them, a hint of crickets singing their late-night serenade. The weight of his words sank deep into her chest, opening a fresh wound. She didn't want him battling others' expectations, she wanted them battling together. A moment passed, thick and heavy. It felt like she was standing on the edge of a precipice, the world spread open before her. Then, let us be strong enough together, she finally said, her voice quiet yet steady. Let us not let her dictate our story. Mark looked at her, his expression a mix of awe and fear. The storm inside him raged on, but she sensed a flicker of resolve. I want to try, he whispered, inching closer, hope intertwining with intention. But before she could respond, the door swung open again behind him. A figure emerged, Mark's mother, Cynthia. The air thickened. With impending confrontation, the atmosphere saturated with tension. Mark, we need to talk, she called, her voice sharp and commanding. The pressure of their moment shattered, leaving both of them frozen, on the edge of conflict and revelation. Would Mark stand his ground, or was he about to turn back into the shadow she feared? Lily's heart raced as she stepped forward, ready to face whatever storm awaited them. Would they emerge united, or would the weight of his family's expectations drive them apart? Lily's heart pounded in her chest as Cynthia stepped into the dim light, her expression a mixture of determination and authority. This wasn't just a regular confrontation, this was a pivotal moment, a showdown, and Lily felt the weight of it pressing down on her. Mom, please, Mark started, his voice straining to hold steady. I was just Mark. Cynthia interrupted, a sharpness in her tone. This isn't about what you were just doing. This is about your future. We need to talk about those choices. Lily stood there, fighting the rising wave of panic. Cynthia's words loomed over her like a dark cloud, threatening to engulf everything in its path. Mark was torn between two worlds, the one he had built with Lily and the one his mother insisted was more secure, more predictable. Cynthia, I care about Lily, Mark said, his voice rising slightly as if trying to claim his ground. You need to understand you care about her. Cynthia shot back, her eyes narrowing. Or are you just caught up in some teenage fantasy? She's not good enough for you, Mark. The admonishment hit Lily like a slap. She felt the heat of shame creep into her cheeks but refused to show it. I am good enough. She shouted, surprising even herself with the fierceness in her voice. I'm not just an obstacle for him to avoid. I deserve to be in this relationship, Cynthia. Cynthia's expression hardened, shocked that Lily would dare speak up. Mark glanced between them, the tension stretching taut as a bowstring. Mom, stop. She's right. You don't know her or us at all. The air was thick with unspoken fears and tangled emotions. It meant everything to Lily to stand her ground, yet the confrontation felt futile against Cynthia's steadfast refusal to see past her own expectations. Mark, this is about your life, Cynthia pleaded, softening a fraction but still focused on him. You are on the path to a bright future, a future that doesn't involve getting tangled up with someone who she hesitated, searching for the right words. Who will only bring you down. Mark's frustration turned to desperation. You think I'm happy living a life that's planned out for me? Just because it's secure. I want to fight for what's real, Mom. Isn't that more important? In that moment, Lily saw a glimpse of the real Mark, the one who fought for love, who wanted to choose his own destiny, and not just follow the path set before him. Cynthia's gaze shifted from Mark to Lily, attempting to read her. In that split second, Lily held her breath. Why can't you just be like everyone else, Lily? Cynthia finally said, a hint of exasperation creeping into her voice. Why does it always have to be complicated? Lily's heart ached. Complicated. It seemed to be the word of the evening. But the truth was, life was only complicated if you were afraid of facing reality. Because I'm not everyone else, she replied quietly, finding strength in her own conviction. Mark and I are doing something real, something that matters to us. Why can't you see that? Cynthia's lips pressed into a thin line. The standoff continued, and Lily could feel the ground shifting beneath them, emotions swirling in the thick air. Mark stepped forward, his voice dropping to a near whisper filled with vulnerability. I can't let you dictate who I love, Mom. I want to build my own life, even if you don't agree with it. An uncomfortable silence hung over them, stretched thin like a wire. Finally, Cynthia's expression shifted, momentarily unsure. There was a flicker of uncertainty in her eyes, a chink in the armor she had worn for so long. But deep down, Lily sensed the storm wasn't over yet. Mark, I just want what's best for you, Cynthia said, her voice softer, almost pleading. But what's best for me? Mark shot back, a hint of anger flashing. What if I decide it's Lily? I can't accept that. Cynthia erupted, her patience finally fraying. You have to understand what you're risking. You're not just playing house. Lily felt her resolve strengthen, but questions swirled in her mind. Would Mark stand by her and openly defy his mother? Was their love strong enough to battle the expectations and judgments of a mother's love? I am not playing house, Lily said firmly, her heart racing. This isn't a game for either of us. It's life, our life. Tension crackled around them, but a bewitching calm settled within Mark as he looked back at Lily. His eyes softened, a storm of emotions swirling in his gaze. Mom, I'm willing to stand my ground, he said softly, his conviction building. But just as it seemed they could break through the impasse, a phone buzzed from Cynthia's bag. She glanced down, the imminent call of an unknown figure pulling her back from the moment. I need to take this, she said, already turning away. We're not finished here. As she stepped back into the shadows, Lily watched her disappear, the weight of the confrontation settling heavily between her and Mark. Do you really think we can do this? Mark asked, voice trembling slightly, a mixture of hope and fear. Before she could answer, the world around them felt strangely vast, a deep void of uncertainty overtaking the fragile space they had created. Yet beneath the fear, a flicker of hope glimmered in her chest. Together? She finally said, the question lingering between them, echoing a promise yet to be fulfilled. Mark nodded, a newfound determination shining in his eyes. But as they stood reconnecting in that heavy silence, a chilling realization washed over them. Cynthia's fight was just beginning, and the real battle for their love had yet to unfold. What awaited them on this unpredictable journey? Would they emerge stronger, or would the weight of her expectations crush their dreams? The moment Cynthia stepped back into the shadows, the atmosphere shifted. Mark sighed, staring into the dim light where his mother had just been, wrestling with his own thoughts. The weight of the confrontation hung in the air, both heavy and electric, as if everything had changed but nothing had really been resolved. Lily, he began, his voice uncertain but laced with desperation. What if she never comes around? What if this is it for us? What if stop? Lily interrupted, a wave of adrenaline surging through her. We can't think like that. We have to believe we can make this work. I care about you, Mark. You care about me. Isn't that what matters most? Mark's eyes roamed over her, searching. The flickering light from a nearby street lamp caught the glimmer of unshed tears in her eyes. "I just don't want to lose you," he whispered, the vulnerability in his voice making her heart ache. "You won't," she vowed. "Not if we fight for it." The intensity of her words hung between them like a promise, both thrilling and terrifying. He took a step closer, reaching out to tuck a strand of hair behind her ear, his fingers brushing against her skin. Lily felt the warmth radiate from his touch, and for a moment, the chaos around them faded. "You really believe we can do this?" "I have to," she said, strength coursing through her. "We're real, Mark. We're not some fantasy. This is our chance to make something solid out of what we have." But as she spoke, the earlier apprehension clawed back at her. Could their love withstand the forces stacked against them? There was so much uncertainty lingering in the air, shadows of doubt that danced around their budding dreams. Mark took a deep breath, the look in his eyes hardening with determination. "I'll talk to her again." "Are you sure?" Lily asked, fear creeping into her voice. "What if she just gets more upset?" "Then I'll deal with that," he said, resolution painting his features. "But she needs to understand. I need to show her that you and I are serious, that it's not just a fling. We're planning a future together." Lily's heart soared at his words. They were a powerful reminder of their shared dreams, the life they envisioned, and the struggles they faced together. "I support you, whatever you decide. Just know, it's not going to be easy." "Nothing worthwhile ever is," he said, and in that moment, they shared a quiet understanding. But then, the ring of his phone disrupted their fragile moment. Mark glanced at his mother's contact name flashing across the screen. Tension spilled back into the air as he hesitated, before declining the call. "I can't. Not now." They stood together, facing the unknown, silent but connected, two souls braving a storm. Just as the weight of the world pressed in on them, Mark's phone buzzed again, signaling another incoming call. "Maybe it's her again," he said with a hint of bitterness, but even as doubt crept in, an unexpected courage bloomed in his chest. "Answer it," Lily urged, her voice steady. "You have to take charge, Mark. Show her you're serious about this." With a shaky hand, he accepted the call. "Mom." His voice wavered, yet there was an underlying firmness. "Look, we need to talk." Lily held her breath, anticipation swirling in her stomach. This could either break them or be the turning point. As Mark's expression shifted, she could see the gears turning in his head. Would he find the right words to stand up to the woman who had always tried to plan his life for him? Outside, the world around them faded into a blur, and she leaned in closer, willing him strength. Mark's voice rose and fell, the conversation a mixture of frustration and determination, and Lily fought the urge to cling to hopelessness. 5 long minutes passed like a lifetime, tension weaving through every beat of her heart as she watched Mark's face transform. Finally, he hung up, eyes blazing with a mix of emotions. "What did she say?" His breath shook slightly as he replied, "She says it's not over." Lily nodded, the weight of Cynthia's words looming larger than before. This was just the beginning, and they had a long journey ahead. "But I will fight for us," Mark added, both a promise and a challenge. "Together?" she asked, a flicker of hope igniting in her chest. "Always." But as they stood on the precipice of an unseen future, uncertainty loomed large, and Lily couldn't shake the feeling that a choice loomed over them, one that would test their love like never before. What would that choice be, and how far were they willing to go to keep what they had built? Would their love be enough to survive the storm ahead? Mark stood there, phone still in hand, the weight of his mother's words echoing in his ears. "It's not over." What did that mean? He turned to Lily, who was searching his face for answers, her brow furrowed with concern. "Mark?" she whispered. "What exactly did she say?" He took a breath, feeling the tension tighten in his chest. "She wants to meet Face to face. Says she needs to talk about us. Anxiety curled in his stomach. Could he really handle another storm? Lily squeezed his hand. You can do this. You've already taken the first step. You fought for me, for us. Now you just have to show her that you're serious. Yeah, but what if she tries to manipulate me again? What if she pulls that guilt trip? The images of their past arguments bubbled up unbidden in his mind, emotions that tangled in a messy knot. She might try, Lily conceded, but remember, you're not a kid anymore. You're an adult, and you have the right to choose your path. He nodded, mindful of her unwavering belief in him. I just want to make sure that I can hold my ground without losing you. And I'll be right here, no matter what happens, she promised, her voice firm. As Mark passed a hand through his hair, a sense of purpose burst forth from somewhere deep inside him. When should I tell her? Lily leaned in closer, her eyes glimmering with support. Tomorrow. Be direct. Make it clear that I'm not going anywhere. This is your chance to set the record straight. Tomorrow then, he muttered, almost to himself. The thought rattled around in his head. Would he have the strength to speak up? What would Cynthia's reaction be? Hey, Lily said, breaking his reverie. You're going to be okay. Just focus on what you want. Remember what we talked about. Right. No more running from the hard stuff. The conviction in his voice felt real. The moments they had shared together kept spinning through his thoughts: dates at the diner, spontaneous road trips beneath a massive skyline, all the late-night talks curled up on her couch. They had built something precious. His heart raced at the thought of losing it, but he felt her steady presence next to him. Let us not let fear cloud our vision, she said softly. We're stronger than that. Mark looked at her, ready to pour out the gratitude he felt. Thank you for always believing in me, Lily. He leaned down, kissing her forehead, the warmth chasing the chill of doubt away. But just then, the world outside seemed to shift again, a sharp shout broke through the night, the hum of late-night traffic dulled by an approaching storm. They turned as two figures stumbled into view, two men, pushing and shoving each other, suddenly entangled in a barroom brawl that spilled out onto the street. Let us get inside, Lily urged, pulling Mark toward a nearby cafe. He could feel the tension rising between the men, fists flying, and he realized the storm wasn't just in his life, it was all around him. As they took shelter indoors, the atmosphere scented with fresh coffee and warmth, Lily's hand slipped into his. See? We've already faced bigger challenges. We'll handle this together. Just then, he noticed a quiet figure in the corner, an older woman with a worn-out coat, her eyes darting nervously at the commotion outside. She held a tattered suitcase, an air of sadness looming over her like a rain cloud. Hey, Mark said softly, glancing at Lily, who was already observing the woman. Maybe we should help her. She nodded, both intrigued and compassionate. It's the least we can do. Who knows what her story is? As they walked towards her, Mark could feel the weight of choice hovering over him again. Were they ready to embrace more than just their own struggles? Just as they approached her, the woman looked up, surprise flashing across her face. In that moment, a connection sparked between them. Can I help you? Mark asked gently, suddenly feeling small and vulnerable himself. As she opened her mouth to speak, they all sensed the depth of what this encounter could mean. The air shimmered with potential, and Mark wondered how far this journey would lead them. And within that spark of humanity, he felt an undeniable urgency. What new challenges awaited? What more would he need to confront? The cafe buzzed with warmth, a stark contrast to the cold reality of the street outside. As Mark and Lily approached the woman, a flicker of recognition sparked in his heart. She looked like the many souls they had encountered along the way, each hiding their stories beneath layers of fear, sadness, and resilience. Can I help you? Mark repeated gently, genuinely curious about her story. An unguarded glimmer shone in the woman's eyes as she searched their faces, drawn in by their kindness. I just need a place to rest. Just for a while." Her voice trembled but held a hint of gratitude. She clutched her tattered suitcase like a lifeline. "Of course," Lily said, a radiant smile breaking through her earlier anxiety. "You can sit with us." She motioned for her to join their table. As the woman shifted over, Mark could see the lines of worry etched across her face. It was a face marked by hardship, a face that could easily belong to Lily. As the woman settled in, Mark glanced at Lily, feeling an unspoken connection to their shared mission, a commitment to help one another be seen. "You're safe here," Mark assured her, pouring a small cup of coffee and setting it gently in front of her. "What's your name?" "Anne," she replied, her voice a whisper steeped in the weight of her journey. "I lost everything. I've been trying to get by, but long nights and empty streets can be overwhelming." Lily leaned forward, her eyes filled with empathy. "I understand. It can feel like the world is against you." "Really?" Anne's brows furrowed in disbelief, but there was also hope sparking behind her eyes. "Yes," Lily said, her enthusiasm shining through. "I've been homeless too. Everyone deserves a chance, a helping hand." As Mark witnessed the bond forming between them, an odd realization bloomed within him. These moments of connection were why he had stepped into this whirlwind relationship with Lily. Together, they could create a ripple of change, challenging the isolation and judgment they were fighting against. With a softening heart, he turned his attention back to Anne. "You can always find help in unexpected places. We were lucky enough to meet each other and turn our struggles into strength." Anne nodded slowly, grateful tears glimmering in her eyes. As minutes turned into conversations of shared stories, vulnerabilities poured out, laughter intermingled with sorrow, and the cafe became a sanctuary for connection. Mark watched Lily, her soul illuminating the dim corners of Anne's heart, a radiant example of hope. Amid uncertainty, he vowed to protect this budding flame, no matter the cost. Eventually, Mark excused himself and stepped outside for a breath. The night felt different now, the cold air embracing him with a renewed sense of courage. He pulled out his phone, scrolling down to his mother's number. He thought of the meeting to come. Standing alone in the dark, he took a deep breath, feeling the adrenaline rush through him as he hit call. The ringing echoed his racing heart. "Mark," Cynthia answered, her voice sharp, already on edge. "What is it?" "I was just about to, Mom, we need to talk," he interrupted boldly, surprising himself at the steadiness in his tone. "I'm no longer willing to pretend about my life. I'm serious about Lily, and I need you to understand that." Her gasp was audible through the line, followed by a moment of silence, a silence that stretched into a palpable tension. "Mark, this isn't just a fling. This can't be what you want," she replied, struggle laced into her voice. "Actually, it's everything I want," he declared, his voice unwavering. "It's real. I can't allow you to dictate my life anymore. I care for her deeply." The echoes of their previous arguments seemed to dissolve on that chilly street corner as he finally claimed his truth. "Meet me tomorrow." Face to face, he said, unable to mask the urgency driving him. "Fine. But I still don't understand why. Maybe it's time you tried," Mark cut her off gently yet firmly. "This isn't just about you and your expectations anymore. It's about me finding my own way." As they hung up, he felt lighter. The storm of doubt fading as clarity washed over him. Returning to the cafe, he found Lily and sharing laughter, each word sealing the bond of sisterhood, a thread woven of shared experiences, unbreakable compassion. Mark slipped into the seat beside Lily, his heart swelling as they exchanged smiles. "You okay?" she asked, sensing the shift in him. "More than okay," he said, the spark of determination lighting up his eyes. "I've finally found the courage to fight for us. Tomorrow, I'll face my mom and show her who I really am." Tears glistened in Lily's eyes. "I know you will. We'll take this on together." As they sat there, wrapped in each other's strength, they realized that their love was like wildflowers breaking through the cracks of concrete, their hope blooming amidst adversity, a testament to the bravest stories yet to be told. And outside, the storm faded into a gentle whisper, revealing a night painted in resilience, as the world around them pulsed with the heartbeat of possibility. They were ready to embrace whatever came next, knowing that together they could conquer even the greatest challenges life threw at them. Once their hearts made space for courage, everything felt achievable. In that sanctuary of newfound clarity, as friends supported one another through thick and thin, they embraced life with unwavering hope. The real transformation was not just in finding each other but in stepping into their power as a unit, prepared to rise against any storm now and forever. This was their moment, not just to survive, but to thrive. So, what about you? Are you ready to step into your own fearless journey? Now don't wait one more second. You need to subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories filled with hope and transformation. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help us grow. Comment below your reactions and feelings about this ending. We want to know what resonated with you. And share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. You have the power to inspire and uplift your community. Let us keep the momentum going together.